What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, today marks the day of the supposed announcement for the massive, undisputed welterweight showdown between undefeated, unified three-belt welterweight world champion who holds the WBC, WBA, IBF welterweight world titles, superstar boxer who is widely considered by many to be top two, if not the number one best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Errol the True Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. has 28 wins, no losses, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach, an undefeated three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the number one best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is 38 wins, no losses, no draw, 29 big wins by way of knockout. He is 34 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, thus the reason why this fight is so massive, because Terence Crawford is widely considered the number one, but then you have a wide consideration for number one or number two, at least top three, best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Errol Spence Jr. And they're both undefeated. Terence Crawford will be 35 in a few weeks. Errol Spence is 32 years of age. They're both in their absolute prime, and all the belts are on the line. All is for all the marbles, okay? So it's very rare that you get two guys, and both guys are extremely exciting on top of that, right? You have Errol Spence, who is a very aggressive pressure fighter that's fundamentally sound with skill, boxing skills, has a jab, high ring IQ, but he's very, very physical. His last opponent was WBA former welterweight world champion Cuban star boxer Nooo, in which he got a 10th round stoppage, and he broke Nooo's rib, nose, and orbital bone, right? Terence Crawford has stopped or knocked out 10 of his last 11 opponents. He just recently did something that's never been done when he stopped two-time welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, retired future Hall of Famer, in Showtime Shawn Porter, okay? Shawn Porter has never been stopped. He only been dropped by Adrian Broner, then he was dropped by Errol Spence, but he's never been stopped. And guess what? Terence Crawford, ironically enough, got a 10th round stoppage victory over Showtime Shawn Porter. So with that said, both guys are extremely exciting, okay? Both guys are very, very talented, and they're in the prime of their career, which lets you know that this is not going to be a boring fight. Neither guy are overly technical. So we had this massive, the biggest fight in the history of the sport of boxing between two now retired legendary, iconic Hall of Fame superstar boxers in Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. But you have a guy who's very, very technical, very, very strategic, and very, very defensively minded set, right? And then you have one guy who's aggressive. Now, in Manny Pacquiao, who's a southpaw. Now, usually that makes for a good fight. But in this case, Floyd Mayweather is always going to eliminate what his opponents do great. And Floyd Mayweather is always going to be defensive-minded first, okay? And so, in the ring, the fight didn't live up to the billing, not because of Floyd Mayweather, but because of Manny Pacquiao. Many people thought that Manny Pacquiao was going to take Floyd Mayweather out of his comfort zone. He was going to pressure Floyd Mayweather. He was so aggressive, so fast, has so much quick feet that you can force Floyd Mayweather into mistakes and into a fight that he don't want to be in. And that wasn't the case. Floyd Mayweather just nullified the left hand. He outboxed Manny Pacquiao, counterpunched him, fought on the back foot, and won the fight running away. In the case of Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, it's completely different, because both guys are come forward fighters. Both guys have a huge chip on their shoulder, and neither guy likes to back down, okay? Neither one of them going to take no for an answer inside the squared circle. So with that said, it just makes, it has the makings of all the fireworks that you want to see, okay? It looks like it could take place November 19th, but it's going to feel like it's the 4th of July, right? So with that said, rumors and reports started to run rampant that today marked the day of the announcement of this massive fight, because tonight marks a big fight in the heavyweight division between former unified heavyweight world champion Mexican superstar boxer who created history, becoming the first Mexican-born fighter to be a heavyweight world champion, and Andy Ruiz Jr., and heavyweight Cuban superstar title contender Luis King Kong Ortiz. So they're going to fight tonight, right, in Los Angeles, California, at the crypto arena formerly known as the Staples Center. And many people was alluding to, this is the time. This is going to be the fight that you're going to get the announcement for Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. And I'm here to tell you people, I don't believe that's going to happen. I strongly doubt that that takes place. Okay, for a multitude of reasons. One being the fact that the fight is taking place on a Sunday. And I know many people, for one, many people was questioning, why is this fight happening on a Sunday? Because NCAA college football started yesterday. And there's no way the sport of boxing is going to attempt to compete with college football, especially for a pay-per-view event. It's not going to happen. And so because of that, it lets you know that you're not going to, attempt to compete with the four major sports. And so it limits availability for the sport of boxing, and lets you know, it gives you a gauge of when fights will and won't happen. All you got to do is look at the calendar for these major four major sports in the States, and that's NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB, and two quote-unquote semi-pro sports in NCAA football and basketball. So yesterday was the official day. Now, NCAA football started last week, but yesterday was the official day that marked all the teams competing. And so they had moved it to Sunday instead of Saturday. Big Saturday, not going to compete with NCAA football the opening day. Another thing is going to take place. There's another big college football game coming on tonight, 7:30. You're going to have Florida State playing LSU at 7:30. That's going to be a problem. But nonetheless, that's on the East Coast. So people started to say, well, it's going to be announced. And I tell people, it's just not a big enough fight. And it's on pay-per-view. If this fight was a big pay-per-view event, now, for us hardcore boxing fans that know who Andy Ruiz is, know who Luis Ortiz is, we would love to see an announcement. But for the casual fans, they're not going to pay pay-per-view on a Sunday night to watch Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz fight. So therefore, all eyes are not going to be glued to the TV to see an announcement from Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Okay? Now, it is in LA, land of opportunity, right? It is in Staples Center, formerly known as the crypto arena, and so that is, one check mark that will give it credence, but that's not enough. It's just simply not enough. And both fighters would have to have a reasoning to be in attendance. And now, I'm not saying Errol Spence is not a fight fan and Terence Crawford is a fight fan, but they have no qualms in this. They have no dog in the race. Now, if they had a fighter like Errol Spence, now promotes Frank Martin, you can see Errol Spence in attendance. Or a friend of his that's involved, you can see Errol Spence in attendance. But this is not a fight big enough to have them in it. They're not going to be in attendance on a Sunday. It's just not going to happen. And so the lack of attention and the how can I say it, commitment from the fans to commit to supporting this fight would give everybody pause for announcement for this fight. And I mean that, what I mean by non-committing is that they don't know if the fans are going to support this fight or not on a Sunday night. They just don't know. They don't want to run that risk. So if it is done and it is to be announced, it won't be tonight. So don't expect a big announcement tonight during this fight, okay? Unless it's virtual. Now, technology is at an all-time high, so virtually we could see an announcement for this fight, but I highly doubt it, right? So you're not going to get an announcement. Now, the days and the time is dwindling, but it's September 4th, The reports and the rumors are the fight is going to take place November 19th, right? So it's September 4th. It still gives you time, you know, essentially to promote the fight. The fight is already sold. It's already promoted. If you see Errol Spence and Terence Crawford in the same vicinity, it's going to go viral. They could just cross paths. The fact that Terence Crawford landed in Dallas, Texas, and it was in Dallas, Texas, that went viral as if he was going to go knock on Errol Spence's door. So the fight is already sold, but you still want to promote it correctly. You still want to get as much attention and eyes on this fight as possible. You want to sell it to the highest degree. But right now, people, sorry to be a Debbie Downer, you're not going to get an announcement for Terence Crawford, Errol Spence tonight. So hopefully next week we could get an announcement. Maybe, you know, the week after we get an announcement. But soon we should be looking to get an announcement for this fight. It's just not going to happen right now. So with that said, when is the next big fight? That's a PBC fight. You look for that, but time is a ticking. Deontay Wilder, October 15th, is a pay-per-view fight. It just has to be announced before that, clearly, because that would mean it would be a month out before they actually fight. So I can see them promoting it at Deontay Wilder, Robert Helenius fight in Barclays Center in Brooklyn. You can see Terence Crawford, Errol Spence on a telecast and promoting the fight, and both in attendance. But as far as announcing on that date, that's too late. So let's see when this takes place and happens. Hopefully it happens very soon. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.